So we started the company with the realization that drones are this very innovative way of capturing data. And the way we look at drones is that they are a sophisticated robot that we can send to different places with sensors on it. The most minimal sensor would be a camera.
Mm-hmm.
And we can capture data. And if we bring that data and we analyze it and process it, we can actually deliver a lot of interesting insights to different industries.
For 20 minutes, I'll be diving into a new world, hopefully something I know nothing about. A new company, a new category, a new leader. It's time to get curious. Join me as I learn from the leaders of today. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Fusion, Riverside FM, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Today I am being joined by Yariv Geller. Yariv is the CEO and co-founder of vHive and brings years of expertise in developing markets for innovative products, technology strategy, and execution. Geller was previously the chief marketing officer of Comverse, a large IT corporation for the telecom industry. Before that, Geller managed marketing and business development of Polychromix, acquired by Thermo-Fischer Scientific, a technology startup in the domain of advanced material sensing. Before that, he was a team leader at POC Consulting, management strategy, marketing, and business development for tech startups and corporations. Geller holds degrees in physics and business administration from Tel-Aviv University and from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. Yariv Geller, welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Hi, Michael. Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very, very much. A pleasure for me to learn from your experience in 20 short minutes, talking a little bit about drones and about your own career journey, previously VP marketing at Converse and a variety of other really, really interesting positions. And today the CEO and co-founder of vHive, looking at autonomous drones and the way that they can help businesses do things that they were never able to do before. So thank you very much for being here. Tell me a little bit about, yourself, what you do, why you love it so much.
Sure. So first, I'm a self-proclaimed tech geek, so I love technology. And so my definition of what is cool at the end of the day has to do with dealing with technology and innovative technology. As you mentioned, I previously ran marketing and strategy at Converse, which is a large software IT infrastructure company. So we built a lot of infrastructure for the telecom industry, including billing systems and messaging systems. Quite frankly, those were not the sexiest domains. IT infrastructure, you're mainly speaking about what you could do with it in other cases, what it enables, but it wasn't really the thing itself. One of the things I promised myself at some point, the next thing I'm going to do is going to be highly innovative in a new industry. It should be cool and fun for me. And also, I was looking for something that has a bit of a tangible feel to it, something that you can sometimes touch and feel and see, and not just imagine and talk about.
So while we both agree that obviously IT solutions, those types of companies, they make a tremendous impact by virtue of the sort of associative transitive property that the organizations you're implemented with, but you wanted to be sort of that end user that actually gets to touch the field and to experience it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry, I'm not belittling IT infrastructure. We all live on it.
Of course. Yeah.
So I was looking for that thing. And I think when I started vHive together with my co-founder, Tomer Daniel, who's the company's CTO and CPO, we really loved this concept of connecting the digital with the physical world. And that kind of lends itself into some of that taking innovation, which a lot of it is happening today in the digital domain, but bringing it to the physical domain. So that kind of all together with the rise of drones happening as a new innovative idea, led to the formation of vHive. So we started the company with the realization that drones are this very innovative way of capturing data. And the way we look at drones is that they are a sophisticated robot that we can send to different places with sensors on it. The most minimal sensor would be a camera.
Mm-hmm.
And we can capture data. And if we bring that data and we analyze it and process it, we can actually deliver a lot of interesting insights to different industries. And this is kind of what brought the concept and idea of vHive together.
So if we're looking at the tangible world today, obviously I think most people still don't go out to the world and look up and see drones doing various tasks that we expect them to do. What are some examples of ways drones could integrate with human-computer interaction, digitizing the physical world?
Right. So quite frankly, there are numerous cases, and I think the first kind of split is if you look at drones working as part of the consumer world, and we've seen a lot of discussion around delivery, and obviously we see people using drones just as a recreational tool or a flying camera, which is in itself pretty cool. We're kind of more focused on enterprises that are using drones, and actually even there are quite a lot of verticals that can benefit from drones. And I think when we started out, we threw a pretty broad net to try out a lot of different things. And interestingly, one of the first cool use cases was we were approached by a large telecom company that has tens of thousands of cellular communication towers. And they told us, how we get information on towers today. We have teams of tower climbers. These are people with ropes and harnesses and hard hats. And they need to drive out and visit a site, and they will climb on top of a very tall tower, and they will use different measurement tools or cameras to snap images, and they will send a pack of information that they captured in the field back to someone in the office. So it's a pretty dangerous task, and it actually generates fairly sparse information. And in many cases, they have to be sent again to check another thing. And they told us that this was a big, dangerous, and challenging task for them. They were looking for methods of actually doing this in a much more efficient, safe, cost-effective, and rich way. And drones were actually an excellent solution for doing that.
So take me back to noticing the fact that people are climbing on these tall buildings to take these measurements, and that it's dangerous. And go ahead.
Yeah. So again, it's a costly, lengthy, and dangerous task, and they were looking for innovative ways to improve that process. So they asked us, could a drone be potentially a tool for us to do this? And we said, absolutely. And so what we provided them was with a solution that enables them to take a very low cost, simple drone that you can buy in a local store. The vHive software will pilot the drone, basically. We'll tell the drone where it needs to go, where it needs to visit, what kind of information it needs to capture. And with no user intervention. So we have actually a lot of pictures of people with their hands in their pockets, kind of waiting for the drone to do its thing. Or maybe they're doing some other tasks in the meantime that they need to do on the site. And once the drone captures everything, which is actually also very quick compared to anything else, it's like 30 minutes to capture an entire site, that data gets uploaded to our system. And we create what is being referred to today as a digital twin. It's really a digital copy of the site. So I can have the entire portfolio of all of my sites. I can click one of them on the screen on a map, and I can just see it in 3D as if I'm standing anywhere in the air or on the ground next to it, looking at it, measuring it. And the system actually analyzes the data and finds all sorts of interesting things that they're interested in finding, like equipment that's installed on the site or things that need to be fixed or addressed on the site. So this is a pretty impressive leap forward for them in terms of understanding their assets.
So how are you thinking through sort of generalized versus specialized? So how do we, are we transitioning more towards a world where we have drones being able to perform generalist tasks that are easy to sort of to take into different domains, or is it more specific drones for specific tasks? Because this sounds like a pretty specific task that needs to be done in a specific use case.
Right. So the platform itself is very generic in terms of how it uses drones. The first task is the system has a sense of what it is that I'm trying to capture. And what it is could be a tower, a building, a road, an agricultural field, a crane. So the system doesn't really care what it is that I'm collecting information on. It knows how to wrap that item or asset or object with what we call a data acquisition plan. So here are all the places where the drone needs to visit and capture information. So the system is very generic in the sense of saying, this is something that I want to digitize. Let me launch a drone and let the drone figure out, or the system figure out how to send the drone and capture data on it. The place where things become a little more specific is more in the use of AI to analyze the data. So different industries have different requirements of what is interesting for them. So in the case of cell tower companies, they're really interested in, tell me what is the equipment that is installed and where is it on the tower, so I can understand and put in my databases information about all the inventory. If it's a crane company, and actually that's another domain that we're working in, it's help me understand if there's any cracks or bends or rust or missing pins that are developing, and therefore I have a safety issue and I need to treat this crane. If it's a building that I'm doing the facade inspection on for a wind turbine that I'm surveying its blades, it starts to be a little bit of repeating themes. It's finding defects, it's finding problems that need to be addressed, and it's finding different things in the field that I, as an enterprise, have a difficulty in keeping track of and need to understand. So,
right.
Yep.
And so I think that, one of the things that you're touching on here is this idea that we have, sort of these layers, that once you have the sensors and you're able to collect the information, then there's sort of the software layer where you can make sense of that information in a variety of ways. And a lot of the times these sensors the same type of information can then be manipulated in different ways through software. And it sounds like with vHive, you're providing the end-to-end approach, right? You're not just doing the drones and the sensors, you're also aiming to provide the software solution. And why is that? Because it sounds like two very difficult R&D tasks that require a lot of focus on each of them. So right. What is sort of your decision to try and specialize in both?
Mm-hmm. So actually, you're right. And when we started out, our focus was, and drones were completely new, and we said, okay, we need to first help companies bring data from the field into the company, because that's a pain. How do I actually get the data in? And very quickly, the feedback we got, well, this is amazing. You capture the data in a fraction of the time, and it's very safe compared to sending people, and we now have a lot of data. But then the natural, immediate question that follows that, okay, help me now deal with all this data that you brought me. Help me pinpoint what is the insight, not just a pile of data. Help me sift through the data and find the really interesting thing. So this is the natural evolution of the data world, right? Data is the oil of the new oil and so on, but there's too much of it to reach decisions. So that was the evolutionary path we took. And quite frankly, I think there's a lot of benefit for us in having the end-to-end approach where we help the company bring the data. Every piece of data that's been captured, we know exactly where it was captured and why it was captured, and then doing the analytics of that we can reach pretty impressive results for our customers.
And so, going a little bit higher level to sort of your decision to go into the drone space, and you're looking at the different things that you can do yourself that you would be excited about. How did you converge on drones as sort of the go-to? And I love drones. I'm involved with flight tracks myself, and I absolutely love the engineering of it and the different incredible things that they can provide, bringing the physical world to the digital world. Tell me about your journey into this field.
Sure. So I was kind of looking at a lot of different domains, and I knew that I wanted to work in a new market. First of all, I wanted to be able to kind of set the rules in a new market. And the beauty with drones is that it's not like you're going into a very saturated or even a market that has tons of players and you're joining a race with a lot of other players and you're trying to just differentiate on top of them. It was really picking a market that we could set the standard, really. We could come and say, nobody's doing this yet. We're going to explain to the market how to do this and why to do this. So it's both a blessing and a curse, right? I mean, the curse is you're trying to educate the market. But the blessing is that you can come to existing processes and really bring tremendous value that is extremely innovative. I think there's the aspect that I mentioned about something very tangible and connecting the physical with the digital, which appeals to me and to people in the company a lot. And then when we saw drones, it was like, okay, this is, we understand enterprise. We understand that enterprises that have a lot of field operations, they need data to live. We can solve this with drones. And actually, we decided, okay, we're going to do drones. We want these low-cost, off-the-shelf drones. It doesn't have to be some fancy piece of equipment that we build especially for a certain task. I can have a customer in Australia that goes to a local store, buys a drone, the software will make it do amazing things. It needs to be autonomous because we don't want experts to use it. We want anybody to be able to operate a drone, right? It's a tool for us. So just take a tablet, follow instructions, press a button, drone takes off, and the system takes care of everything. Actually, another thing that was really cool is we said, wait, we have these small, low-cost drones. There's software that's flying them. Why settle for a single drone? And actually, one of the very cool things that we do is we enable you to deploy multiple drones that are working together as a hive, since the name, that are working in parallel and capturing data. Well, the short answer, why not do it? Because it was very difficult, but, managing a lot of these flying devices in the air, but that's exactly what we've done. So it's highly scalable because if I have a large area that I need to cover or a complex task, I can just deploy multiple drones. The system will just break the work down and send this drone here, that drone there, and make sure that they're not interfering, but actually complementing each other.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I have, it all sounds really, really cool. And it sounds like people, different, I'm always curious about how different personas interact with different industries. And it sounds like you're offering both sort of the physical hardware, software layer with also very tangible use cases that people can actually experience in the real world. So, if you see somebody, randomly down the street and you want to see whether they'd be, this is the right thing for them to do. Because most people don't even know about, drones and the types of things that they can do, working with drones. So how do you sort of think through a conversation like that with a person? What type of person would be really interested on working with the types of things you do with vHive?
Mm-hmm. So are you asking more from our customer's perspective, or people who work at vHive, or just in general, or?
Yeah, any, engineer, product manager, the type of person that would come to a company like vHive or the drone industry and would love it. This is sort of would be a calling for them.
Yeah. So first of all, I think what we do is highly interdisciplinary, and that's one of the things that I love about it is that it's not just one thing. It's not just software. It's really a mix that involves things like taking a drone and interfacing with it, giving it instructions of what to do by using a mobile device in the field that is connected to a cloud-based system that has algorithms that will take a job and break it down to multiple drones and tell them where they need to go and where they need to capture. So that's one part of it, which involves a lot of things. And then this feeds into like an entire pipeline that takes the data that the drone is capturing, creates with it using a technology called photogrammetry that takes a lot of images and cross-references them in 3D to create the 3D model. So now you have a 3D model, a copy of something physical that you saw earlier outside in the field. I now have it on my screen. I can rotate it, manipulate it. So it's almost bringing elements of 3D gaming into the enterprise world. I mean, the enterprise world has used CAD products and things like that, but the ease of use and the richness and the photorealism of what can get generated really is pretty amazing compared to anything previously. And then we bring on top of that a layer of AI, machine learning that looks at images and 3D models and extracts out of that things that our customers are looking for. So it's a very broad stack of capabilities that come together to deliver something very holistic.
Yariv, sounds awesome. I love the transition from the previous journey to the new one, the intentionality behind it, finding this personal excitement, the tangibility aspect. I love the integration from the physical and the physical and the digital world, and looking at a new way in which we can utilize technology to interact with the world around us with different sensors than we already have. And it sounds like besides helping mitigate tasks that some of them are actually dangerous, you're also actually providing data that previously we had no transparency and observability into. And so it definitely is a strong impact, and it sounds like you truly love what you do. So thank you very, very much. Stay safe and stay healthy, and best of luck with vHive. Thank you.
Great. Thanks a lot, Michael. Thanks.